Welcome to Rewiring Health, your hub for transformation and empowerment. I'm your host, Kelly Kessler, and I'm here to guide you in aligning with your true self. Discover the freedom and vibrancy within you as we release patterns of self-abandonment and transcend the health impacts of stress. Get ready to unlock your potential and embrace the freedom and vitality you've been seeking. Now let's dive in. Self-loyalty is one of those things that I have struggled with most of my life. To be honest, it was never even on my radar to be more self-loyal because I was literally living in this state of continuing patterns of self-abandonment. And some of the patterns that you may recognize in yourself, I share 8 of them in episode 210. So definitely check that out before you listen to this episode, because you'll see how much life can transition once you recognize self-abandonment in your life, and then how life changes and transforms once you become more self-loyal. And I would love to say that I had this big epiphany and just decided one day I was going to be more self-loyal, but it did not happen like that. It came through one of the most painful experiences in my life and a moment that was absolutely pivotal. And it came through the gut-wrenching decision that I could no longer accept being treated the way I was by others. And I also had to start loving myself unconditionally. It was a moment that really changed and transformed my life in so many significant ways. And while it was absolutely painful, it is also something that I can look back and be grateful for, because I have become a very different person since that time. And I hope for you, you don't need one of those really painful moments to bring you towards more self-loyalty. I hope for you that you can listen to this and start to bring and invite this into your life in so many ways and realize that you are worth being more loyal to yourself. So in this episode, I want to share with you a few signs that you are becoming more self-loyal. Number 1 is that you start caring less about what others' opinions of you are, and you start caring more about the opinion of yourself. As I share in episode 210, a lot of what we experience when we self-abandon is self-criticism. We have this negative opinion of ourselves often, and we come down on ourselves for a lot of things. And then we also have this protective mode where we're trying to paint this picture of everything's okay. And we're also trying to control the dynamics and relationships so nobody has a poor opinion of us. We try to make sure everybody's happy and try to make sure everybody's taken care of. But when you are more self-loyal, you do not care so much about what other people think of you. You're willing to be the villain in other people's stories so that you can be the hero in yours. You're willing to allow people to have their opinions. You're willing to allow people to misunderstand you. Because at the end of the day, when you know yourself and you know what you're about, you know your values, you know your core, you know your intent, you start to care less about what other people think of you and what their view of you. You stop putting the energy into that. Number 2, you start to speak your truth. When you've been self-abandoning, you stayed silent in so many cases. You did not speak up for yourself when there were moments that you really should have. And then that inner resentment was building up in you. So when you are self-loyal, you speak your truth because you are worth it. Now, it doesn't mean that you're saying things that are hurtful to others. It just means that you value your opinion, you value your thoughts, you value your beliefs, that they need to be heard and not stuffed down to make other people comfortable. In this moment, when you're self-loyal, your concern is making yourself feel accepted and comfortable and validated. And you allow yourself to speak your truth and come from a place of love that you are worth being heard in this moment. Number 3 is that you validate and honor your emotions. When you were self-abandoning, you were feeling things, but then suppressing them, saying that maybe you're being too dramatic, or maybe you shouldn't be so upset or angry over what somebody said or did to you, and you invalidated yourself and stuffed them all down. But when you are self-loyal, you validate your emotions, you recognize your emotions, you feel into your emotions, you allow yourself to experience them in whatever form they want to come through. Because again, you are worth allowing yourself to have that experience. And what that looks like is that when you feel anger arising, you allow yourself to sit in that for a while and say, yeah, I see why you're angry. That experience happened, and let yourself just feel that anger and whatever comes and arises in that moment. Or if you're feeling grief, you validate yourself, be like, of course you're feeling grief in this moment, and I'm here for you. I've got you in this moment. Allow yourself to feel whatever you're feeling. You validate your own emotions. You allow them to come to the surface. You allow yourself to feel them. You give yourself that experience because it is only through that release that you are truly honoring yourself in that moment. Number 4, you are protective over your energy. When you were self-abandoning, your energy got spent in places you probably didn't even know. You were directing your thoughts to making sure that somebody else was comfortable. You were directing your thoughts to being vigilant of what facial expressions are happening in the room and the little nuances. You were directing your energy towards showing up for everybody, being the go-to person, the perfectionism, making sure everybody is okay, and then sacrificing yourself. But when you are self-loyal, you turn that energy inward. You start to become more frugal with where you allow that energy to go. If something doesn't serve you and something is not aligned with you, you do not invest your energy in that. You keep your energy concentrated on what is meaningful to you, what aligns with your values, and what you desire in your life. You're much more protective over your energy. You do not waste it on people who don't care about you. You don't waste it on people that have these opinions that control your life. You spend that energy on what's meaningful to you and the people that are here for you and what feels right for you. Number 5, you're in tune with yourself and you start trusting yourself. When you're self-abandoning, you are directing your attention outside yourself. You are noticing what people needed. You are trying to be the go-to person for other people, trying to recognize the emotions and feeling like it's your responsibility to take care of them. But when you are self-loyal, you turn that back in with yourself. You're more in tune with what your needs are. You find yourself asking, what is it that I need? What do I need in this moment to take care of myself? You wake up in the morning and you have an agenda for yourself of what brings you the most light in your life. You're not trying to fill your schedule to make sure other people are taken care of. You start noticing, what is it that I need? How can I fill my cup up fully so that I can be a full parent, so that I can be a full business owner or whatever it is? You fill yourself up so that you can serve at your highest level. That is truly turning your energy inward and tuning into yourself. And through that, you begin to trust yourself. When you know that you're going to show up for yourself and give yourself those moments that you need and validate yourself and honor yourself, you begin to trust yourself that you're actually going to be there for you. You see, when you self-abandon, it's like leaving yourself behind, ignoring yourself. Imagine if you did that to a child. Imagine if your child needed you desperately in this moment and you're like, not important, that like I have other things I need to do. Other people need my attention. That child will feel so hurt and they would start to lose trust in you. Like you didn't even have my back. And that's exactly what's happening within you. When you don't honor yourself and take care of yourself, you start to lose trust in yourself. Like, when are you actually going to show up for yourself if you're not doing it? So when you are self-loyal, you begin to trust yourself. You know you're going to have your back. You feel a sense of safety within yourself. You know that you can take care of yourself, honor yourself, regulate your own emotions, your nervous system. You put the practices in to show yourself that you've got your own back. Number 6, you have self-compassion. When shit hits the fan in life, you don't just come down on yourself double time and try to work harder and just ignore it and put yourself aside and just say, all right, now you got to function, get back into it. No time for you to actually process this. No, when you are self-loyal, you become more compassionate for yourself. You take a moment and recognize where you are. That when someone is hurtful or some experience was really challenging, you take a moment and say, yeah, I see. I see why that is so challenging. And I understand why you're feeling that way. Very much goes in along with how you are validating yourself and your emotions. But that self-compassion is like giving yourself a warm hug when you feel like you're struggling. It's not doubling down on work and trying to push yourself harder and stuff it all down. It's recognizing that you need a little love in this moment, and maybe you're the person who needs to give it to yourself in this moment. And so those are 6 signs that you are becoming more self-loyal, that you're honoring your needs, taking care of yourself. There are far more signs that you're self-loyal that I haven't shared in this, but I want to share some of these because if you're noticing in yourself that you have struggled with this or you want to feel more of this in your life, because if you're noticing in your life that you're not experiencing these, you're not seeing how you are self-loyal and you're struggling with some of these aspects of your life, you are able to move from self-abandonment to self-loyalty. But it takes the awareness that you're not there yet, and that there may be some things that you need to change, and that maybe there are some things you need to release, that maybe there are some beliefs you've held on to that have kept you stuck in the cycle of self-abandonment. And if you're noticing that you're not as self-loyal as you want to be, there is opportunity for you to change that right now so that you can live a fulfilling life, so that you can feel the way you want to feel, so that you can show up for yourself and get to that in your life and say, like, I lived for me. I didn't live for everybody else. I lived for me and I did the best I could and I honored myself and I lived the most full life that I could have given myself. And I'm grateful for the gift of loving me each and every day. If this has resonated with you, I invite you to come into my community, Infinite Self Circle, where I guide you towards moving from self-abandonment to self-loyalty. This transformation is absolutely pivotal and something that will make a huge difference in your life for feeling the way you want to feel and living for you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so grateful that you're here.